Hey guys, it's Max here with my King Piccolo Deck profile. This is a list I used to get top 8 at the 20th of June TAC Regionals. Uh, let's just get right into it, honestly. I don't think there's anything else to say besides that. Now, my deck is currently in the complete opposite order, so give me just 2 seconds to put it back in the correct order. Because this is my second try trying to do this video, because the first one, the video didn't save right and it had no sound, and we don't want that, do we? We want some sound. Alrighty, let's just get right into it now. Alright, so we've got the King Piccolo leader. Most people know what this leader does. In case you don't, when this card attacks, you may choose one red Namekian or Demon Clan card in your hand and put it face up in your life. If you do, you put one card from your life in your hand. Note this leader only starts with 6 life, and this doesn't seem too amazing, but it gets pretty nasty and we'll get into it later. Its awakened is if your life's at 2 or less, or you have 2 or more face up red Namekian, or Demon Clan. So basically, if you have attacked twice, you get awaken. Your awaken is draw 3 and gain a life, so you basically start on 7 life. Now, on the awakened side, same on attack effect as the front side, except it's 3 cards instead of 1. The activate battle, if you have a red Namekian or Demon Clan card in your life, you face up in your life, you can combo with one of them and then place the top card of your deck in your life face up. Actually, no, you place the top card in your deck in your life face up first, so you can get pretty lucky and get some nasty combos off that. But anyway, that's the leader. Let's move on. First card is Piano. Now, if you note, the leader doesn't actually draw, it just cycles, which can be pretty bad. This fixes that. So it says, once during your turn, if your leader is a King Piccolo, when a card is placed in your life face up from any area other than your life, draw a card. So once per turn, so in your turn and in your opponent's turn, so the activate battle will do that in your opponent's turn because it's on both players' turns. So that's essentially, if this is established, you're essentially drawing 2 cards, so 1 on each player's turn. This is not established, you're not drawing any. So this card is the turning point, is one of the turning points of the deck, but it's really good. Next, we go on to Drum. Drum is a 15k barrier blocker. When it's played, it negs 10 off one of your opponent's battle cards. Now, him and the rest of the Demon Clans I'm about to show have a auto when this card is used in a combo from your life. So that's either by the activate battle or some other cards I'll show later. You play it after. So a free play 15k barrier blocker is pretty nasty. Next we have Symbol. Symbol, once again, is played after you combo with it from life. Activate main, if your leader is a red King Piccolo and you have a red Unison in play with Rejuvenate in its skill text, you may place a red Demon Clan card from your drop area under the Unison. If you do, put a marker on the Unison and draw a card. So it ticks up your Unison relatively fast and it draws you cards. Really, really nice to establish some symbols to draw you more cards. Tambourine. Tambourine's only a 3 of because Tambourine is unique. Now, bit of glare, so sorry you can't see it too well. I'll try to use my hands to cover it. But it has the same thing, so it's played after you combo with it. And then it's auto, essentially when it attacks, if you have 3 or more life, or you have a Unison with a card under it, this gains 5k power and dual attack. So 5k power and re-stands. So note the difference between this and dual attack is this, when it on attack it re-stands, so Zamasu can rest it again or power the super stands or stuff like that, whereas they can't do that to dual attack. That is the Demon Clans. However, we do have to attack the Demon Clans, which searches your deck for a Demon Clan, puts in your life face up, and then combos with a Demon Clan. So essentially free, it plays a body for 1 energy, plus it's 5k combo power. So that's another way to get them comboing off besides just your leader. The other way is King Piccolo, First Steps to Revival. When this card is used in a combo, choose up to 1 face up red Demon Clan card in your life and combo with it. It's nasty. It also has an activate main effect. If this card is in your drop, you may send it to your warp. If you do, give one of your red Demon Clans or Namekian 5k power for the turn. Pretty nice. Can give cards a quick extra buff before you neg 2 on Unison, which is nice. pretty nasty. Next up, we have our King Piccolo engine. So first of all, let's talk about the 1-drop. The 1-drop King Piccolo is a searcher. I normally don't like searchers, however, in this deck, I think a searcher is very good. Purely because this searcher hits nearly every card in our deck. It hits our super combos, it hits our early game unisons, it hits all our Namekians and Demon Clans. It's really, really good. So when it's played, you look at top 5 and you choose a red Namekian or Demon Clan with an energy cost of 4 or less, or a unison with a specified cost of 2. The other reason we play this is it is an evolved target, so it's just all around good card for this deck. Next we had King Piccolo, the new ruler. We don't play Overrealms, this is our Overrealm. If you have a unison with 3 or more markers, activate main, you gotta play this from your hand. Note, it has a permanent. If your leader is a red card, this card gains 5k power and can't be blocked. This is very important. It allows you to free play something into BMS. And it's also double strike. So it ends up being a 20k double striker for free. aka it's our Overrealm. We play 3 of them. You can only play this card once per turn. You can only use the activate main once per turn. And like Overrealm, at the end of the turn it's sent to the warp. So those are these. Those are those. Now, all 6 of them are evolved targets for King Piccolo Time to Fight. He's pretty nasty. So it X evolves on top of a red King Piccolo with an energy cost of 3 or less. When this card evolves into... when a card evolves into this one, you get to search your deck for a red Namekian or Demon Clan with an energy cost of 4 or less. You just search your deck. So it's like the searcher, except you can just choose any target. Or a unison with specified cost of 2. Really nice card. Its second order is on play or when it attacks once per turn. Choose up to one of your red one of your red Demon Clans and it gets 20k power for the turn. Real nasty. So your Tambourine can essentially a 40k dual attack if this swings first. So it can get pretty nasty, but that is the King Piccolo package. Next we have our Unisons. So we run 4 of the Piccolo Junior Unisons. Now the Piccolo Junior Unison is the best red 2 cost unison in the game, and it also synergizes perfectly with the deck. First off, the order: when your opponent activates a counter skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. Note, this is not once per turn, so Blue Baby doesn't get any battle cards. Mecha Frieza, when they riposte you, that card dies. Note, you can also Yamcha first. So if they play something like a topper and you really don't want that topper staying on the field, you can counter window 2 Yamcha, and then the order goes off after the Yamcha resolves, because counter plays before autos, and that will then be able to kill the Yamcha. Then it has a +1, draw a card, nice and simple, really good. The activate main, you choose one of your red battle cards and an energy cost of 3 or less, then you go choose all of your opponent's battle cards with a power less than the card you chose. So for example, with the use of Time to Fight, plus, where is he? First Step to Revival, and Tambourine. So these 3 cards I've got over here that I'm not displaying really well. These 3, you can get 45k power on your Tambourine, which kills everything in the game. Nothing inherently is above 45k. So in the right circumstance, it's just a board wipe. It's a -2 for a board wipe, which is pretty nasty. Doesn't ignore barrier though. However, after you've KO'd them, this unison then gains rejuvenate -2 for the turn. So you rejuvenate, remove 2 markers from this card, and you gain a life. So King Piccolo can be gaining life, even though he starts on 6. I've had opponents have to go through 10 before, so it's pretty nasty. Then best card in the deck, Vegeta Unison. This card will win games, and when I mean win games, it means your opponent won't be able to play the game because of this card. The +1, you draw 1, you choose one of your red mono red battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less, and you play it. It's okay. This effect is okay. It is usable, which is nice. So the effect when normally uses the -2. So if you -2 when you play it, he'll go to 4. And then if your opponent only happens to remove 1 marker, you can then activate main to get bonuses before you play another one. Because we do play 2, and a lot of the time by turn 4, by turn 4 you should see 1, by turn 5 you should see both. The -2 until the end of your opponent's next turn. If your opponent would play a battle card, using a skill, it is placed in their drop area instead. Basically, I'm gonna take the Kai Secret for example. FY, this is Secret we won. Now, the Kai Secret, if you can see, has a cost 8 right here, which means the only way I can play this battle card is to pay 8. If I use its activate battle to play it, it will go to the drop instead. So basically, it makes people go back and play set 1 and set 2. It locks the Mirror out of the game. It locks Mecha Freezer out of the game. It locks Doc Broly out of the game. It locks King Vegeta out of the game. What other decks are out there? It locks most of the decks out of the game. Once it's played, your opponent is just kind of screwed. And the best thing about it is on turn 4, you can -2 with this guy, wipe their board, and then you can play Vegito. Really nasty. Really, really nasty. Alright. Next, we have our counterplays. We have Yamcha. Now, Yamcha is an insanely good card. I am seriously considering putting it to 4, just because how good it is. Don't put it to 4, put it to 3, but sometimes you really wish you just see that one more time in the game, because it's just a really good card. Other times it's kind of dead. But Yamcha is sadly the second worst of the counterplays brought to us in set 10. However, it is still insane. God's Healing, of course, being the best, and Frieza Charismatic Healing being the second best, but it is still insane. When opponent plays a battle card, you can counterplay with this, and you choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and you get to neg 15k off them. And because the meta right now is quite low to the ground, this card, it wins so many matchups, man. And by wins matchups, I don't mean auto wins it. It tilts the current game into your favor. Yamcha's really good. It's a card, if I have a Unison in my opening hand, I always consider keeping it depending on the matchup. Next of all, we have 3 Scions. Scion is a free negate if you have a Unison with a specified cost of 2, and your leader is a King Piccolo. It's also a double strike blocker. When you negate, it gets played in rest. It's just a really good free negate. It is dead though. Both of these cards, by the way, are essentially dead when Vegeta Unison's out, so be very wary of that, because Yamcha is best played when someone plays battle card via a skill, because you can wait for it to be played, and then you counter window 2 to neg the card being played plus something else, 15k. So both of these are essentially dead with Vegeta's out, but Vegeta normally just wins you the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. Next, the card that's not dead when Vegeta is out is the Wolffang Fist. Wolffang Fist was put in here for 2 reasons. One was Android 18 mil, because if I didn't get Vegito out, so if they went first essentially, on their turn 4, they could freeze me and I would essentially lose because I didn't have it out to it. However, with Wolffang Fist, I do have an out. So, for those of you who don't know how Rebirth of Justice and Frieza works, Rebirth of Justice plays Frieza via a skill, which means I can Yamcha counter window 2 and negate 15k. Then when Frieza swings, the first auto goes pending. I then negate with Wolffang Fist, and the Frieza will then die. The pending auto will then resolve. However, Frieza is now dead, so the second auto milling me doesn't go off. Wolffang Fist is also really good just to defend Unison, especially early, against a lot of mid-range decks. They're just going to swing with their leader, or swing with a 15k battle card into my Unison to get rid of it early, because the Unison is a really big part of King Piccolo. Wolffang Fist will either kill the battle card they're swinging with, which is just a big plus in our favor, or it will just stop the leader attack from dealing damage. Either way, really nasty. Next, we have Violent Rays. Now, for Violent Rays are insane against Dark Broly, they're insane against Sin Shenron, and they're just a very good floodgate negate. However, in this meta, you can consider cutting it down to 3, because the meta is quite different than it used to be. It's a lot less tall, a lot more wide. This doesn't do super good against wide decks. For example, I was playing against Vegex, and that was the one matchup I did lose. And it stopped like 2 of the 7 attacks that were thrown at me that turn. But it is still nonetheless a very, very nice card to have in the deck. Next, another MVP when it matters. This card's insane. Frieza's Death Ball. If your opponent is attacking, or if you're attacking a battle card or a leader, and you're attacking with a battle card of leader. So basically, if there's no Unisons in the battle, this card essentially counts for 5 cards in your opponent's hand. So either deals a damage, or or your opponent has to lose 5 cards if there already wasn't a one of the cards in favor to counteract the measure of this card. Because the activate battle, so like the other IAR rares, iconic attack rares, I think they are. So like Vegeta's Final Flash, the Goku one sells Earth Destroying Kamehameha and Majin Buu Extinction Attack, and one more I'm missing. No, I think I said them all because Frieza's Death Ball's the 4th one. It gets it gets 15k power when you just pay 1 to combo with it. However, they all have a second effect. If all my energy is red, which I only run 1 non-red card in this deck, I get to choose one of my opponent's leader or battle cards and give it neg 10k. So this is, as I said, 5 normal cards in your opponent's hand. Nasty. Next, we have Kaioken. Kaioken is a tech card. You do not need to run Kaioken. However, it does deal with a fair few things. There's an extra board wipe, which can be super handy in this deck. And also gets rid of something ignoring barrier. This is the only way to get rid of something ignoring barrier in the deck. Next we have one Champa. Champa gives something double strike. 10k combo power. Gives something double strike. That's all said. Champa does its own explaining. 4 super combos. Note, it is a red Namekian super combo. It's searchable. This is why we run the super combo and not Raditz, not anything else. This is the super combo for the deck. And last but not least, as I spoiled before, we run Kai. Kai's the best SCR in the game, and it's also generic. There's no other SCR you run in King Piccolo. You do not run the Gohang Unison. You run Kai. Don't run Gohang Unison because you want to play Vegito on 4. You do not want to play any other Unison. And you don't run Heron's Lineage because this card is strictly better. However, if you do not own this card, both of those SCRs are acceptable. Preferably Heron's Lineage. The order of SCRs I would probably put in this deck would be this number 1, probably Lineage 2, and then Sin 3, and then Gohang's 4. That's the order in which I'd put SCRs in this deck. Anyway, that's the deck profile. Now let's go over to this is frozen. Let me just turn that on and off again. Nope, that's still frozen. Give me 2 seconds to unfreeze my camera because I don't know why it's frozen. Sorry guys, just give me 2 seconds here to get everything hopefully working. There we go. We can see me now. And let's move my head over here. Okay. So, this is my deck list. If you guys want to check it out, all in one place. I'll try and remember to leave a timestamp down below. If I don't, here it is. That's the deck list. Now let's just move on to the my report. So let's just start off with the matchups. We're moving my head around. I'm great at just moving my head around randomly. This was the easiest regionals for me to top 8 in. It is, if anyone had the same run I did, it would also be the easiest regionals from then to top 8 in. Now, I'm slightly becoming a more well-known player, as this is my 3rd regionals top 8ing in a row. So hopefully that doesn't, what I'm about to say doesn't take away too much from the accomplishment, but I can understand if you do. Just know I have top 8 of the last 2 regionals as well, with one of them being a 3rd place finish. Alright, so round 1, my opponent dropped 20 minutes before the event. However, the tournament organizers did not process this until after the first round had already started. Thus, I got a free win round 1. Shout out to Dylan, my round 1 opponent. We always somehow manage to pair in these tournaments, and all the games always go down to a wire. So I was sweating as soon as I saw his name. But then found out he dropped. Slight relief. But that was round 1. Round 2, I played against a Dark Broly player. However, their internet was a bit shoddy, and they could never see my video. The judges came over, and they said, after about 10-15 minutes of trying to get it to work, they said, sorry, we're going to have to give him a game loss, because the judges could see my screen, so it wasn't a problem on my side. I could see his. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but that was the first 2 rounds done. Haven't played a game. I'm to work. Round 3, I played against Vjex. I played against David Liu, who ended up coming second, and he beat me. It was a relatively close game. I think he ended up beating me by like 10-15k combo power, but that's kind of what just Vjex does. I had a really slow start, didn't see Unison until turn 3, and didn't have a turn 2 play. So my turn 2 play was draw pass, or draw swing with leader pass, which is not ideal for anyone who is playing King Piccolo. You definitely want that Unison on 2. If you don't have that Unison on 2, you want a piano on 2, you want a King Piccolo on 2, you want to start gaining advantage, start gaining resources. Didn't have anything. So that was my turn 2 just done and dusted. And then turn 3, got to play my Unison out. But then I just couldn't survive his turn 3. So that was that matchup. Unfortunate, but it happens. Round 4, I played against a Mecha Kabura player. They drew pretty dead. They didn't get awake until like turn 3. It's unfortunate. I think they're playing a version with very little of the Shroom and Salsa and Toa. I think they were just running 4 Toas. I didn't see any Shroom or any Salsas. However, they were playing so slow that on turn 4, when I played Vegito, they did not have anything on the board. Because anything they played, I was just able to get rid of with relative ease. With the speeder, with how slow they were like drawing and playing. So when I played Vegito on 4, they just never played a card for the rest of the game after that. So that was my 4th round. My 5th round was against a King Piccolo mirror. Now, in this mirror, my opponent had watched some of the videos I put up in Vine Pro Elite, so he was pretty nervous for the mirror. Apparently not as nervous as I was. I'll essentially show you what I did in my first turn. So I went second, and I had these 2 cards in my hand. I had Tambourine, Piano, and then I just had 4 random other cards, right? And then drew for turn. Just say we draw a card. This is what I was doing. So my plan was, I had 7 cards in hand, and I wanted to charge. In this case, it was the Attack of the Demon Clans. I don't currently have one, but I was just shuffling through my hand, and I went to charge the Attack of the Demon Clans. I picked up the Tambourine, and I charged the Tambourine. Not noticing I charged the Tambourine, I then tapped 1 for my Piano. Now, when I went to swing with my leader, I looked at my hand, and as you can see with this hand that I currently have, after I played that Piano, I did not have any Red Namekians or Demon Clans. Therefore, I was essentially just out of the game from that point on, because I was a complete idiot and I was not focusing at the start of the turn. Either I was too stressed or I was too relaxed. Either way, me just simply picking the wrong card out of my hand, even though I knew what I wanted to charge, and even though this was not the card that I wanted to charge. Yep, that happened. I was on the back foot for essentially the rest of the game from that point, until my opponent's laptop died. I know, right? He was not back for another 10 minutes, and the judges gave him a game loss for that fact. So that was 3 wins via game losses. Yeah. So that's that. So I was 4-1 with only playing 2 games. And I really should have been 3-2, because I should have lost that King Piccolo game for being such a retard. But we take them. We take them because that was able to push me to an X1 record after I played Benny Zhang, my round 6 opponent, who was playing Dark Broly, but I don't think he had the Gogeta package in them, which means I just Violent Raise and slowly get rid of his board. He played a Demigra on 2. I swung into the Demigra. So I swung with my leader into the Demigra, so he didn't get any cards off his life. I then activated Battle with the leader to play a drum, making 10 off the Demigra, and then I swung into it with my Unison, putting a super combo down, because he was unawakened, he didn't have too many cards in hand. I doubted he had that many 5k combo powers, because we know what Dark Broly has a lot of 0k combo powers. But that was my matchups. Yeah, so I was pretty lucky. I was gosh damn lucky this time around. But how do I think Piccolo's spot in the meta is at the moment? On the screen here, I'm going to move myself back up top because I prefer being in the top corner. On the screen here, we have the decks that I consider to be the most likely to play against. Now, not the most meta relevant, not the best decks, and not in any particular order. These are just the decks that came off the top of my mind when I was thinking of what decks to talk about. Against King Cold, I've never played against a King Cold in any regionals. I have played against it once or twice in locals before King Cold was really established as a deck. Australians, I don't think are going to play King Cold. I don't think that's the way Australians rock. I've never seen a King Cold in an Australia event. Never heard of anyone playing King Cold in an Australian event. However, I think King Piccolo has a very good matchup into King Cold. Because if they swing with something, first of all, I have the Kai secret rare, which means if they swing with anything but leader or unison, I let that attack through. I Kai. They can no longer attack with leader or unisons for a turn, so that's essentially a turn-ending negate there. Next, I have a fair few negate, so if they want to go in all in with me on a leader swing, or mainly on a unison swing, because it can't be a leader swing, so if they want to go all in on me on a unison swing, and I negate that, they then play Boo. However, I have a lot of barrier blockers in the deck, 4 to be precise, all of which are searchable, all of which I can play for free. So for them to out all of my drums is pretty hard, considering their only outs are the cooler counterplay, and a lot of decks aren't running them. If they are, it's only 1 or 2. So King Piccolo's got a pretty good matchup into King Cold. Next is Dark Brawler Gogeta. King Piccolo does not have a good matchup into Dark Brawler Gogeta, purely because Gogeta Fearless Fusion. It is a 6 cost Black Gogeta with 16k power, and when it is played via Union Fusion, I don't think it has to be via Union Fusion, but Union Fusion for 1, which can be cards can be chosen from the warp. It warps one of my battle cards, ignoring barrier. So buy drum, buy piano, buy cymbal, buy whatever they want to get rid of. And the deck now just runs so much removal with the other TP Gogeta, Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire, and the usual 6-drop SR Broly. It just gets rid of all my battle cards, and King Piccolo has a lot of battle card based advantage. So it can be rough. Mecha Frieza. Mecha Frieza is a very good matchup for King Piccolo. The Unison kills Riposte on play. Yamcha's kills BMSs and Shapils, and I don't know what else to say. It's a good matchup for the deck. Vegex is completely 50-50 matchup. I've played it like 6-7 times. I think, and I've gone either 4-3 or 3-4, don't exactly know, but it's a very, very 50-50 matchup. Basically, if King Piccolo can stabilize before Vegex wins, King Piccolo wins. So basically, it's the turn after the Unison is played for King Piccolo. If they survive the turn they play the Unison, the King Piccolo player wins. That's because having so much energy up to play defensively / to board wipe just allows for so much pressure for the King Piccolo player. Not so much pressure, but to relieve so much pressure. If the Vegex player can kill the King Piccolo player before that, then the Vegex player is going to win. Pretty simple. Blue Baby, also in King Piccolo's favor, mainly just because Vegeta Unison. Vegeta Unison locks him out of the game. The Baby, the Vegeta, everything, all their battle card negates do nothing. They still get the negate off, but they don't get the effect off, and their turns, and they just wasted a bunch of energy. Vegeta locks him out of the game. King Vegeta is an interesting one. Vegeta once again locks him out of the game. If you pull off the Vegeta, it will lock them out of the game. However, they can free play a lot of battle cards, and the Vegeta can be quite annoying. However, you do have Kaioken to get rid of the Vegeta, because it's exactly 25k, or you can neg 2 on Unison because it doesn't have barrier. You will have to take a life, however. For those who have played King Piccolo, you know you stay on quite a high life total, even though you only start with 6. But anyway, that is my video. It's on my regionals report, playing King Piccolo. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're coming up to 30 minutes now. So if you stay tuned for the whole time, I do extremely appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one, and leave likes, comments, subscribes, mainly comments. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know what you're liking. Let me know what you want to do better. But also like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you next time.